Hello and welcome back to the Peugeot 9x8 race day. We're starting off here at day 4, back to where it all began. Okay, so, alright, finished the race within 3:05, reaching at least P4 without damaging the car. Alright, we'll try that. Let's have a look. There are the it's a required PR event. I've got the car upgraded to everything level 3. Well, by the end I did, and that's what I spent. You can go a bit cheaper than that on the M dollars by it's the body. You don't have to put the last M dollar upgrade on the body. It saves you about 250 odd thousand M dollars. I don't worry too much about M dollars. I make 250,000 M dollars a day pretty easily, so I don't worry too much about that. When I saw, when you do a gold upgrade and the next one's an R dollar or an M dollar upgrade, I just put the upgrade on. So you don't need all 3s. I went to all 3. Yeah, you don't really need to. You can keep the body at 2 if you so wish. But I don't think it'll make too much difference. We've done some bot slowing, so the bot's pretty under control. This event we can't really do any bot slowing. Well, this race, because we've got a timer that we kind of we need to beat, and it doesn't matter where we finish, because with that timer, you kind of have to finish first. The bots are too slow, so that's not a big problem. And yeah, didn't have any issues later on. So we're going to double time it a bit here, just to get this one done. It's Monza, a pretty easy track. I think we're not allowed damage, but we can go off track a little bit. Even when they say no off track, there is usually a bit of grace anyway. So I'm clipping the curbs nicely here. Just that doesn't count as off track. 30 seconds to go, and we're on the back straight. Parabolica, and yeah, coming out of the Parabolica with 20 seconds to go. That's a hell of a lot of time to get to the line. So you can pull it up and slow it down, and yeah. But you can see I'm 600 meters ahead of Johansson there. So yeah, he was never going to catch me in time. Alright, so now we have to lead a draft for 15 seconds while defending your position and hit a target speed of 313 kilometers an hour. Okay, not a problem. Monza is a track where you can hit top speed quite often. In terms of leading the draft, so I just did that straight away. I pulled in Schneider. You can see Schneider behind us. Bernd Schneider, I think, maybe. Yeah, I remember Bernd Schneider. He raced Formula 1 back in the 90s, or maybe the late 80s. I just remember the name Bernd Schneider. Anyway, there we go. We've led him in a draft, and we have hit our speed once. So now I'm backing off because Janssens from Belgium, he's ahead of us. And he's going to get in our way a bit. I don't want him to be in our way. So when he got in our way, didn't hit speed there. And then it was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to crash. So off through the chicane, and goodness, crashed into the Nissan. Yeah, very scrappy to start off with. So I'm giving myself a bit of room again to go, because we're going to go for another run at top speed here before the Ascari chicane. And then we've got another opportunity before the Parabolica, and probably another opportunity before the start finish line. So plenty of opportunities, about 5 opportunities to hit speed. And we did it just before the Ascari chicane there. Through we go, and then here's Novak. We're going to get a bit of a tow from him. He'll tow us up a bit. We should hit top speed before the Parabolica. Yes. Well before Parabolica, you can see we got on the brakes really, really early, because we're P10 and no real need to finish higher than P10. So we're just going to stick here behind Novak and follow him to the line. There we go. And boom. Done. Okay, easy enough. Monza's a nice track for hitting those top speeds. You only have to do it 3 times. Like I say, you could probably do it 5 times. So yeah, alright, now we have to find and overtake Magnus, and our tyres are degrading. This one got a bit tricky towards the end. So with degrading tyres, you're fine up until about 75%. Once you go below 75%, I find there's a real big drop off, and the car that's when you start sort of sliding in the corners. And when you start doing that, the tyres degrade even faster. If you go off track, they just go to nothing. So there's no real way to slow down the timer, because we can't really just take it easy here. We have an average speed to maintain, so if you're going around corners, you're wearing the tires down pretty quickly, and there's no way to do that slowly because we have average speed to maintain. So yeah, it gets a little bit on the tricky side, but here we are at 75%. Okay, we just dropped below, so you have to be a bit careful here. It's getting a bit twitchy on the exit, and a big gaggle of cars, so that's going to help us just to get past. We don't have to chase them down too much, so we'll sneak past Magnus over here and then get a bit of a push from him if we can. Come on, Magnus, give us a push. And here's Stewart. We'll get him at the Ascari chicane, and we'll get past Miller. That's our Canadian friend Miller, and yeah, we're through on him. Cool, so now we're leading the race. All we have to do now is stay on the track, keep ahead of these guys, and maintain that average speed. That sounds really easy, but it's not, because look at the tires. We're almost down to 50%, and that causes a few problems, because it kind of turns out Magnus was getting held up by those 2 guys, Miller and Stewart, and yeah, I'm being very careful. But Magnus is coming. He's going to get past those guys, and he'll be charging us down by the end of the race. I didn't know that when I was doing this, but that's what ended up happening. So I was taking it real easy. You can see I'm taking it very cautiously through these chicanes. I don't want to be sliding off the track, because the problem is you go flying off the track, you go really slow, and look at that. It's like ice at 33%. We're on ice here in the Lesmo corners. So I don't want to do too much of that, because these guys they don't seem to have any tire deg. They're on a better strategy, and now Magnus has moved into 2nd place, and he's coming for us. We're pulling away from him now, but through the Ascari chicane, again, look at how slippery this is. 22% on the tires. This car does not want to cooperate. And we're almost home and dry here. Our average speed is fine. Our tires are not. We're down to 16% into the Parabolica. Oh, I didn't know. This was ice skating through here, really. And you can't get the power down early. Look how close Magnus is now. 24, 23 meters, 21. He's catching us. So now we've got to block Magnus. So just do some blocking at the line here. Our tires are on 0. Yeah, that one was tricky towards the end on that last lap. Trying to keep the thing on the track was, yeah, that was a bit difficult. I'll tell you. Right, now we have an endurance, just a normal endurance race with no damage. Stay on the track and manage the engine's heat. Here again, I needed some upgrades, so I'm not on all 3 just yet, but yeah, I put the wheels and tires and just those last 3. I added that to what I already had from the previous video. By the time we finish this event, I showed you in the beginning what I spent on getting it all to level 3. So if you want to just follow with me and see, like, just upgrade your car as the event goes, I was just showing you that's the upgrades I put on. I put the body on a bit early, that's why I ended up going all to level 3. Because I upgraded body first instead of the engine and the drivetrain. Maybe then I would have noticed that you don't need to upgrade the body that last upgrade. But anyway, it doesn't bother me. I finished this event and I've still got like $1 million, almost $2 million in dollars. So. Right, stage 5 is the final crown down. Given the language we're about to experience in this stage, yes, that's very witty. Okay, we'll get to that. All right, so we got to do both laps under 1 minute 39 seconds, which is a bit tricky. The first lap, I failed this a couple of times because the first lap is difficult to do a 1:39 because of the traffic. So just go as you can see. I'm bashing into people, bashing them out of the way because we need to go. These guys are slowing us down. I failed this a few times by going not finishing lap 1 under 1 minute 39. From here on, once you through all that traffic in the beginning, it's easy from here on. It's not a big problem at all to do a 139 in this car on this track. No problems. It's just getting through that traffic. So, if you're not getting through the traffic early, you may as well pause, quit, and retry because because that'll shuffle the order, not necessarily of the bot drivers, but the cars that they are in. And if like this particular go at it, I got some of the slower cars more towards the front, which means they sort of bunched the pack up at turn 1, and I could get through them quick and easy. So there's a little piece of advice if you are struggling. But once you're through that traffic, really, it's not difficult at all to do a 139. You can see we're coming up to the line, 135 here, so 137. There we go. So 2 seconds quicker on that lap, and then we can just fast forward a bit here. See this corner here still giving me issues. It's a tricky one. Otherwise, Sebring track, awesome track. I love this track. It's really cool. It's one of those like old school racetracks, not designed on a computer or any silly things like that. And it gives you something different. So you can see I'm on the back straight with 1 minute 12. So plenty time to do a 139. And onto the straight here, 9 seconds left. So we're going to slow it down. And we'll do another 137. Cool. Easy enough. Right, so there's that one. Oh, you have to do that without going off track, just by the way. That's not a big deal. You don't need to do any shortcuts. Right, now we have to tailgate Magnus for 20 seconds and finish P3. And again, no damage, no off tracks. I find it really difficult to go off track at Sebring. It's kind of, I don't know, I just don't really get it so wrong at Sebring that you go off track. So first we have to find Magnus. I think he's in P3. We have to finish P3, so Magnus is in P3, I think. And then we just have to tailgate him, which means we don't have to draft him. We just have to stay within 20 yards of him. We can even get alongside him as long as we don't go past him, that's all. So that's the tailgating. There's Fontana's Chicken. We're coming up on him. He's in 5th place. What is tricky is you only got 1 lap to do this. So you need to make your way through this traffic rather quickly. And here's Romano. He's in Italian. So Romano Fanati. That Bastage. I'll never forget that Romano Fenati in the Moto2 race. He couldn't get past the bike in front, so he drew alongside and snatched the guy's brake lever. Frickin' Bastage. Yeah, Romano Fenati, jeez. Anyway, we've caught up to Magnus, and here I am. I'm just staying behind him here. He's pretty slow through this section of the track, so I'm just trying to stay behind him, had to give him a bit of a gentle nudge there. Here I'm alongside, you can see, and then I get my 20, and now it's a drag race. He's going to win because I was gentle on the throttle coming out of the corner, because I had to stay behind him, and I'll just tap him on as we go by through into the last corner, just to get him to back off. And there we are, across the line, and yeah, another one down. We're almost done. So now it's a speed record. We only have to be in the top 3, okay? And we're not allowed to skid, okay? You've got only 1 second of skidding allowed, and obviously we have to stay on the track. So here we go. This, I don't remember this being difficult at all. I think it's quite pretty simple. We've got the long back straight where we can hit speed. So really it's just taking it real easy. And we're not going to hit 318 kilometers an hour through this section of the track, so you can just take it nice and easy. Make sure you stay on track, don't make any silly mistakes that can throw you off the track and then you fail. Don't do that. Just keep it going nice and easy. So here we have to brake early for this corner here, so we're not going to hit speed. But certainly, yeah, we're just doing a lap here, just cruising around, just I don't know, enjoying the scenery and down in Florida. That's where Sebring is, and we'll set ourselves up for a run onto the back straight, and we only have to finish in the top 3, so you can even hit the brakes. I don't think I won this one. I think I got to 3rd and hit the brakes, if I remember correctly. So here we go. I'm nice and slow through here, and then here I'm on the gas. Get a nice drive out of there, and then I'm weaving as well. I'm trying to make this track as long as I can. And we're coming up, there it is. And I didn't quite get first, but I think that I must have got 2nd then. So yeah, there we go, no problem there. If they had said to win, that would have got a bit tricky, because we were right in the braking zone there in the last corner, so that could have got a bit tricky. All right, now this one. We have to cross the lap line with an average speed of 217.2 kilometers an hour every lap. Also, this is where the language gets a bit tricky. We have to gain 1 position every time you cross the lap line. So what that means is, translated into English, that means you can only overtake 1 car per lap. Okay, you don't have to be crossing the start-finish line while overtaking a car. You don't have to be doing that. Just make sure. So here I started in 5th. We're going to begin the lap in 4th place. That means now this lap 1, we have to overtake Nielsen. Now this event is stupid, and because we have this average speed, we have to cross the line at an average speed, and these 2 numpties in front of us are frickin' slow. And I'm telling you, when I say slow, they are slow. Look at my average speed. We can be going so much faster through these corners. That average speed is just, it's taking some hectic kind of a plunge. It's not great. But we can overtake Nielsen this lap. We have to overtake Nielsen this lap. But we can't overtake the guy ahead. I think that's Magnus ahead. We can't overtake him, so we're going to be sandwiched in that little gap. And I've failed this a few times by overtaking Nielsen early and then having to stay behind the car in front and Nielsen comes back and tags you, knocks you off the track, and does all kinds of silly. It's just this really. If the bots are going to behave like this, it's a really stupid event. So here we go. Past Nielsen now. There's Magnus. I can't overtake Magnus until after the start-finish line. Plus I have to get my average speed up. So I'm really gunning it down that straight, getting a push from Nielsen, getting my average speed up. So I can cross the line with my average speed, and I've done my overtake. Now, this lap, we're now on lap 2, all new lap. Now we can overtake Magnus. So that's pretty simple. We get past Magnus, and from here on, the event gets pretty easy. Because from here, it's as simple as there's a nice big gap between Magnus and Petrovic here in front. So now we don't have any problems. That average speed is going up. We don't have any problem controlling the average speed. We don't have, we're pulling away from Magnus. We're catching Petrovic. So now the event makes much more sense. It's just that small gap between Nielsen and Magnus. It was really, really annoying and just not difficult. It's just annoying and frustrating. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that kind of race and that kind of. When devs do that, they miss the mark, and they do it in this game a lot. It's not challenging. It's not difficult. It's not a challenge to the player. The only challenge I had here was like keeping my cool enough to not just skip the event because it sucks. You know? That's like, yeah. But yeah, make the events difficult, make them challenging. You want to be challenged as a gamer. You want to playing a game. You want to be challenged at it, but like just to make it stupidly frustrating that's not a challenge. That's just silly. But anyway, we completed the lap with average speed well above where we needed to be, and yeah, now we can get past Petrovic, and we've gained our 1 position for this lap now, and we're in first place. So now we can just cruise and just stay ahead of Petrovic. Simple as that. So it's only really, again, pretty much like the previous race where you just had to get through the traffic. Here we just have to get past that first lap with Nielsen and Magnus. That was tricky, and after that, yeah, no big problems. And so I'm not really pushing it too hard. My average speed is nicely up. I'm going to gain a lot of average speed on that last straight. So now I'm just making sure to just keep it on track. Even though I'm not pushing, I'm pulling big gap on Petrovic. So yeah, absolutely no problem. I don't know any races called Petrovic. I remember Petrov. He was in Formula 1. But Petrovic, nah. I know a few football players from Petrovic. Yeah. But nah, fortunately no races, so I don't know that dude. But anyway, here we go across the line with our average speed up, and there we go. Okay, and then on to the last race, which is back to being just simply no challenge whatsoever. Win the race while managing the fuel. So it's 1 lap. All we got to do is when we can go off track, we can